Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Wildin Out, your wild show. I am Lotus Knight. I'm the stream operator for today, and I'm going to introduce you to our hosts. Marty, take it away.
Hey guys, welcome. We were originally going to do this every other week, but there was so much interest that we decided to just do it weekly. So joining me tonight, I have Dr. Fish and
Hello.
Tom Carter.
Hello.
Fish, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be on the show.
Nice. Tom?
Yeah, same. This is going to be an interesting experience.
Yeah, we have quite a bit to cover. Everyone knows how things have kind of been changing up, even though Warlock is a bit dominant. We're still kind of adjusting to nerfs, figuring out optimal builds. So let's get into it. We have players of the week. Tom, you want to tell us the player of the week from the NA?
The player of the week was Outlaw, which had an interesting lineup for not countering the deck, but he didn't bring it either, which is really interesting because even for my own team, I was like, yeah, you should bring the deck for baiting a ban, right?
Wait, which deck?
Seedlock.
Uh,
That's the deck that it's either pick or ban, and it's so weird because it feels like DHL has at least the Wild has become this thing where it's like 3 decks against another 3 decks. Both people ban Warlock, and you know
hmm
we give it a try. But yeah, Outlaw is such a good player. Like I am not surprised he got Player of the Week. Uh, but it's interesting that his strategy paid off by not bringing the deck. So deserved, you know.
yeah, 3-2 win, giving his team a 14-13 victory over Nofin 2. And that brings his team to 2-0 on the season so far. So congrats to Outlaw. Vish, who do we have for player of the week in the EU?
So our player of the week for EU is Taunt is Cheat, and similarly to our NA player of the week, Taunt is Cheat took the bold strategy in leaving Warlock up in their series, and they targeted it, and it paid off massively, taking a clean 3-0 sweep over Burnt. And his play has helped propel his team a little agony to just 1 point out of first place. So congrats to them and their captain Corbett.
Yeah, well done to both of them. I know
Mhm.
Taunt couldn't be here because he had to go to bed a little early, but I'm sure he's going to
Ah,
like to hear that news in the morning.
for sure.
So now we have a lot of meta discussion to talk about. Let's
Mhm.
move on to that. So, taking a look at this, there's a lot going on here. We're still seeing a lot of different decks, much more than we're used to. Um, a lot of things are kind of the same. We still have Quest Pirate Warrior being a very popular bring. Warlock actually increased in popularity, 4 more brings there. Oddly enough, Seed Warlock went down, and I think most people know why. A lot of those came from people bringing Cataclysm Seed Warlock. So the deck where you play Expired Merchant, get a bunch of hands of Gul'dan in your hand, and then play Tamsin and discard it all away with Cataclysm to mill your opponent to death. So
Oh,
those were two very influential decks from Warlock last week. We also had a massive drop from Paladin. Okay, 34 fewer Paladins brought. This is a mix of things, but primarily it's because of Odd Paladin. Odd Paladin was hit hard. Conviction is dead in the class pretty much. So Odd Paladin has been struggling. Not a lot of people bringing it there. Significantly fewer hand buffs as well. And really, the only popular paladin, like we do have 10 hand buff paladins, but the main paladin really seeing play now is the aggro tax builds focused on Nurubar Weblord and Far Watch Post. Outside of
yeah,
that,
and I and I
see,
and a lot of people are adding robes of protection to that deck, which helps counter uh, Seedlock, which is an interesting thing.
Yeah,
He
they're
doesn't
trying all
get
different
pulled
kinds
off
of
from
things.
C2A, but I think that deck it's just getting better.
Mhm.
More so every time you nerf a new paladin card, you always go back to Call to Arms.
They're actually trying all kinds of things, though. I've seen some mind breakers last week too
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
to counter the warlocks again by disabling their hero power. That way, they can't damage themselves in the cycle. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of things going on there. A lot of experimentation. People like the deck. People are going to keep bringing it. Outside of that, a lot of druids and a lot of priests this time around. 14 more druids than last week. A lot of these came from Malygos Druid. 17 brings there. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. We had 7 questline druids and 5 odd questline druids.
Mhm.
So a lot of people getting lost in the park there. Then we moved to priest. Priest is still primarily an aggro class. It feels really, really weird to say still, but
Mhm.
it is primarily an aggro class. Now, 28 aggro brings, 18 big priests. People still liking their big priest brings, and we had a lot of Reno priests, 12 of them. Really weird for a deck that's just dead on ladder, pretty much.
Mhm.
Of course, we had one person bring their trademark Odd Raza priest, brought it again in week 2,
Nice.
and that's what you see there.
Mhm.
For the rest of the classes, there's not too many shifts. Mage saw a bit of a drop, 8 fewer brings this week, but we still see a lot of combo mages with 11 Mozaki mages and 70 Knight mages,
Mhm.
some Exodia Waker, and the rest are mostly either Reno, Secret, or some combination.
Mhm.
Rogue, Shaman, and Hunter, and Demon Hunter to a lesser extent, didn't really move much. You
Mhm.
know, they all had single, maybe within 3, 4 decks change, either
Mhm.
up or down. So there's not much really to say there. And Warrior saw no change at all in the number of brings.
Mhm.
The decks were slightly different. We have some weird ones, like an odd legendary warrior, where they just jammed 20 plus legendaries in the deck. Not sure if it saw
Mhm.
play, but that did happen. And we did have a charge warrior. So
Ooh.
yeah,
yeah.
lots of variety.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
that one beat me, so I know. I was not expecting that one.
So just looking at decks to beat, what do you guys think from this? Is it still
I think
Warlock?
that so what I saw is that even though Warrior had no change, it's because Warrior is like the second strongest deck to beat.
Yeah.
So you have Seedlock, which I said earlier is either ban or bait, right?
Yeah.
And then is Quest Warrior. Like I for example today was able to take Rhino Lock to fatigue with Warrior just out of the value you get of the Juggernaut. So
Mhm.
I think that's the deck to beat. It's just insane.
Yeah.
Focusing on Pirate Warrior. Oh, Lorette, I see you were asking which was the Mechadune lock on NA. Yeah, it's combined stats. So that would be you. Shout out Lorette for the Mechadune Druid
No.
and the
Nice.
Mechadune lock as well.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Glare the player has been posting a lot about Mechathon Druid. That's a
Yes,
really
he
interesting deck.
Yeah.
he was the second person to bring it
Mhm.
last week.
Yeah.
So interesting list. Check it out if
Mhm.
you're interested,
For sure.
for sure. Now, let's talk matches.
All right.
We have
Uh,
Brown up first.
All right. So, um,
Let's
first
take a look
match.
at.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say let's take a look at the Brown Conference standings first.
Okay.
Not much shakeup really. We
Mhm.
have everyone's a winner at the top still, followed by Mancrick's Revenge, so they get their logos up top. Fish, what do you think of the rest?
Let me quickly pull that up so I can look. I'm not surprised about everyone's winner being up there. Um, I'm not like these top four teams. Really the only team that's surprising me, uh, not being up there is Pog Merchants. I think they're definitely going to turn it around. They've got a bit of a rough start. They do have a slightly different roster. But the core is still kind of there with the three players with Diamond at the helm. Aussie Pain Merchants I expected to do pretty well, but No Fin 2 being 0-5, being 0-2, but still they do have 5 points this week, but a lot of teams have gotten points this week. So them to be fourth place with an 0-2 and 30 points is really good.
Yeah. Something to mention. You're either 2-0 or 0-2 in this
Yeah.
conference. It's perfectly balanced, like all things should be.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I did interrupt your match recap.
I'm sorry.
So
You're all good. Is it up on the? I have no clue if it's up on the
yes, we have
screen. Okay,
Pog
go.
Merchants versus Everyone's a Winner.
All right. So Pog Merchants versus Everyone's a Winner. Unfortunately, did not go the way of our friend Tom Carter's team. Although he did pick up a victory. He did pick up his individual match win. We have Battle Tagger taking a 3-1 over Pace. Absolute taking a sweep over an Awful Artist. We've got Tom Carter 3-2 over 6J. And then Hazer getting a 3-1 over Cherub, and Sunday getting a sweep over Excalibrine. Yeah, I would not have expected this type of points result. I might have favored Everyone's a Winner in the match overall, mainly because of having kind of what I would perceive to be an advantage with Hazer and Sunday playing against players who I don't who I are either not that are either splitting time between Wild and Standard, or I don't really know much about them. But overall, I think that shows how strong everyone a winner is, and um, that it's tough to go up against them.
Yeah, I think we can all agree Everyone's a Winner is probably one of the favorites out of the Brown Conference.
Yeah,
Excalibrine is also new to THL this season,
gotcha.
which
So they
is
might be getting
why they might have a less recognizable name to you.
yes,
Charp was on and off last season, I believe, as a sub. I'll
yeah.
have to double check
I mean,
that.
I know
No,
Cherub. He was
I think
on
he
my
was. I think he was a
he was on my
player, a
BG's
stable
team,
player. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
So,
yeah,
but they've been around in THL
Mhm.
for
a while.
a quick minute, so
Oh,
they're a bit
yeah.
more recognizable.
Definitely.
It's all good, Excalibrine. We're all here to
Mhm.
learn. So,
Oh, yeah.
and you got to play against some of the best.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Charib was the guy that helped me hit Legend for the first time, so I'm really glad he's on my team.
Yeah, and
Nice.
didn't you hit rank 1 recently, Tom?
He did.
Oh yeah, I did. And then I got
Yeah,
counter
so
queued like 50 times,
mhm,
and I am no longer rank one.
Mhm.
your mistake was queuing.
Probably, yep.
Rice
But
Bull will
I
tell you how good the camping life is. I'm
so
sure.
no, but the thing is that I know about camping, but I really enjoy the game. So I love playing. Like,
Yeah,
sure, I get the leaderboard thing, but I really like playing the game, and
for sure.
casual just doesn't have the same appeal to me.
You hear that, Rice
Um.
Bull? That's calling you out.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Play for
we
fun,
have
guys.
we have one more to cover in Brown. Aussie Pain Merchants versus Wild THL Fanatics. Tom, you want to get this?
Yeah. So first of all, my ex teammate Maxi is on the Aussie Pen Merchants. You can tell because he stole the name idea, and that's why they call the Aussie Pen Merchants. First of all, we have Quake Lord against Slad, 3-0 for Slad. He so far is 2-0. Then we have a sweep by Slide over Electric Ship City. Uh, then we got Bone Masher 3-1 against Dr. Boom. And Maxi Bond 3-1 against Labor Sangre. And then Yorari 1-3 against Nate Wolf. So yeah, I think the Aussie Pen Merchants are a really strong team. Um, I think they have a chance to even though they are a new form team, they have like really top notch players,
Mhm.
and I think they are going to be a name we are going to be seeing really often. Um, What I'm surprised is by the fact that Quake Lord like lost, even he was first seed, and I know he's a
Yeah.
really strong player.
Ugh.
He knows his DHL, and
Hmm.
I'm surprised by that. But otherwise, a really strong team. Um, yeah, and as you can
Yeah.
see, they all brought Warlock and Warrior. You bring Warlock, they ban it. You have Pirate Warrior. It just slaps.
Hmm.
Off topic. How come we still have his Edwin Hall of Fame yet as a channel points reward?
I have no clue. That's funny. Well,
It's sad. I wish it
sure,
was Hall of Fame.
sure,
I
someone
really
will
do
talk.
too.
Someone should bring that up to Mako or Donde and get that fixed.
Yeah, I think we all could have used the extra 1600 dust when it rotated.
Yeah.
I actually
Um.
crafted him when he rotated
Yeah.
for
This was.
Classic.
This was this. I feel like this was a strategic loss from Quake Lord just to specifically face me this week.
You know,
I know it
That
wasn't, but I am
that
facing Quake. I am getting to face Quake Lord this week now.
that would be
it should be
so
fun.
interesting. Like I never thought about that. Like, yeah, I wanna you know what? I'm gonna
No,
lose my next match so I
no,
can
you
like
never do that. But
no, I know, but
Anyways,
yeah,
actually no, but actually in the first weeks it's something you can do. Not
it
later
is.
because it's
mm,
going to be really
No.
difficult, but in the first or 2 weeks, like you can actually do that. Don't do it,
anyways,
please.
Anyways, yeah,
let's cover Green Conference.
yeah. Oh, we are covering. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at the standings where we had a shakeup. So one thing I want to point out, we have Meta Jewelers in second place in this screenshot, but they are lower in points per week because they gained 4 points in the third week, and we don't count that.
Hmm.
So they don't get their logo on the screen. Instead, we have Hair Club and
Hmm.
Mad Scientists, the top two teams after last week, getting their logos on the screen. Congrats, Hair Club, for the first time. Mad Scientists, you stuck around for another week. Meta Jewelers, got to get to second place or first this time to get on there. After that, we have F2 Viridian in fourth, right behind them. Owl, I believe it's overpowered wild leaderboard. Casters underestimate me. They can check me on that if they want. Then
Hmm.
the usual suspects and the golden hand sitting at the bottom. Again, a bunch of 2-0s and then O2s. No
Yeah.
1-1 teams. How do you guys feel about this?
Feels bad, man, for me.
Feels weird.
My team's getting smacked every week.
Yeah, well, it's a long
It's okay.
season.
It is.
Yeah,
I
things can
think
shake up.
I think it was like it's more coincidence than anything else. It's probably because we are still seeing where the standings are
Hmm.
going to accommodate for
Yeah.
the weeks to come, and it's just a coincidence. It's not that
Yeah.
either like you brought this kind of lineup and the other
Hmm.
team brought this, and like it's one way or another. It's
Hmm.
just a coincidence.
Oh yeah.
I think once it gets like more accommodated and we get the teams, the top dogs go against each other,
Hmm.
and we see the lower teams trying to get into the semifinals, we're going to see like a shakeup on this, and it's not going to be like 2-0 or nothing or
Yeah.
3-0 and so on.
And just for note, my team has faced Hair Club and Scientists as our two opponents, the teams that are sitting at the top of the conference. So
Yeah, that was something I wanted to talk about too. There is a huge discrepancy between fourth and fifth place here. 19 points. That's basically
yeah,
an entire week's worth of points.
yeah.
So,
I think this conference definitely has like kind of that parity of like you have the teams that are a bit more experienced that have been around together. You have Scientists, Viridian, and Hair Club. Newer team Meta Jewelers, who I'm pretty sure if I look at their roster, I would recognize most of them.
yes.
Um, they're very good players, and then you kind of have the three teams there that are newer, or well, usual suspects. I believe is Snake Fod's team.
Yes.
So it's surprising to see them not doing quite as well. But then you have you have my team, and you have and you have Owl, and we're kind of newer put together teams, so makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hair Club, we have their match to cover. This was quite a dominant performance by Hair Club.
Mhm.
2 sweeps too. The first one by Concerned Mom, 1 seed Concerned Mom.
1 seed Mom.
I think the last time Mom was in the 1 seed in THL was early last season as well. So he's off to a strong start.
Mhm.
Burnt also doing well, turning his less than appealing season last time around,
Mhm.
performing similarly to how he did his first season here, 2-0.
Mhm.
White Light getting a 3-2 win right over you, Dr.
Mhm.
Fish. That must
Oh,
have
it
been
was
close.
it was a close series. Yeah, my Reno Secret Mage couldn't get through, but
Yeah, it's
everything
gonna
else got
happen.
there. It happens.
Yeah, he did get there with his control shaman though. Very
Yeah,
interesting one.
he beat my he got there first off against my mage. I was just probably a little rusty, misplaced stuff, but it happens.
The classic White Delight special, as we all call it.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Always. Then
But
finally,
it's a classic.
Memnarch. It is. But finally, Memnarch and Otters getting 3-1 and 3-2 wins respectively. Huge W for Otters to
For
beat
sure.
a Grandmaster in Rami. Rami
Mhm.
0-2, bit of surprise there. I know he's bringing some less than conventional decks, but
Yes,
still pretty interesting to see. So yeah,
Mhm.
congrats Otters in the
for
chat.
sure.
Clearly,
Yeah.
since you're here, you're the better player. So
I got to cast Memnarch. I got to cast Memnarch versus Hyperin, and it was a good series. Hyperin also had some non-conventional decks with like a Miracle Rogue and like I guess a Demon Cubish lock deck that was the only deck he got a win on, unfortunately. But Memnarch played really well.
congrats to them.
Congrats to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have one more match to cover in the green conference, sorry. Tom, you want to tell us about Mad Scientists versus
Mad,
Bash Bros?
Mad Scientists versus Bash Bros. I think this is the closest matches we have across all the week. They went head to head. I'm actually surprised how close they were. Uh, Catharsis won 3-2 against Anubinator. Uh, I'm surprised we don't see any Warlock ban on that lineup. Then we have. I'm going to mispronounce this one.
Mm,
Mm, N.
number theory.
Number 3.
Oh, is that what? God damn it.
Yes, number
Number
3.
3,
Mhm.
3-0 against Jailstorm. Then we have Nomad Farmer against Reverb. Sorry, number 3 went 3-0 against Jailstorm. Nomad Farmer went 2-3 against Reverb. Then we have Veteranum against Mr. Python, another 3-2 for Mad Scientist. And then we have Ken Ray 3-1 against Knight. That is the only match that doesn't have a 2 in it. Like
Mhm.
they were really head to head.
Yeah.
And somehow the team that had already won again. And that's why we have another 2-0. That's what I'm saying. It's all a coincidence.
Mhm.
But if you look at the bans, I am surprised we don't see that many Warlock bans. I am
Yeah,
not sure about the matches. Maybe not all of them are Seedlock
I can
and
actually check for you.
Veteranum didn't even
Mhm.
bring
Yeah, because you'll notice in my match that there
Warlock.
was no Warlock ban from White Delight. That's because I brought an even lock deck over bringing a seed lock.
So
Yeah.
Rami and Risa brought Seed Warlock.
Hmm I brought even, and Hyperin brought like I don't know really what to categorize it at because I
Yes.
don't remember it. It's like a demonish lock. It's not cube. But
And
maybe it's
and what I'm
classified.
surprised about is that Bash Bros brought the deck that I'm saying it's the second best deck, and that's Barad Warrior.
Hmm
But they couldn't pull through. And when you look at Mad Scientists lineup, they didn't bring. Only one person brought Warrior. They scam. They they got it. there is some secret tech over there that I'm not seeing clearly.
Yeah, just looking at this matchup in particular, Anubinator, Reverb, and Knight all brought Seedlock,
Mm-hmm.
and Reverb didn't have his Seedlock banned.
Mm-hmm.
The others did. The other two players brought Dark Lair, just standard seedless Dark Lair Warlock,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and those were left up. As for Mad Scientists, we had 3 Cataclysm Seed Warlocks.
Mm-hmm.
Only one was banned,
Oh.
and a Reno Warlock, and that was not banned.
Yeah. I can guess who brought
Mm.
the Reno lock.
Yes. Yes, all the way at the bottom, a
Always at the
heavy
bottom.
control lineup from Kenray.
Kenray, yeah, he loves his Reno.
Yeah, that he loves yellow cards.
Yeah. He was my first wild match in THL. And it was a full Reno lock, full Reno lineup versus me.
Oh god.
Yeah, well,
that
it paid off versus Knight.
And
Yeah,
the
it did,
meta
yeah.
was different back then, so I imagine
Oh, it was, yeah.
it was something else, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oof. But yeah, I'm really surprised. This is actually the most interesting match of the week for me, because once again you see a lot of Seedlock not getting banned, a lot of Pirate Warrior, a lot of Pirate Warrior, and a lack of Pirate Warrior, and somehow you see a really close match.
Yeah.
That went 18-11.
Yeah,
Really
shout out
interesting.
to these guys for that. Very close
Yeah.
week. Now, finally, we have the EU series to cover. Why don't we take a look over there?
That's a new thing. We have EU now.
Yeah.
I am really happy about that. And I love that we have a team that was all NA players, them whales. But yeah, NHL. You want to talk about the first match?
Yeah, before we get into that, I just want to cover the standings a bit. So we have everyone's a winner and a little agony at the top. Everyone's a winner, got 2 points, but so we're not going to count those. But they're still one of the top 2 teams when we take those points away. So they get their logo on the screen. We have all the flags of all the team members in everyone's a winner's logo, and a little agony is continuing to go a long way with 33 points. So congrats to both of you. And if you want to stay there, just keep winning.
And I'm pretty sure that team's almost locked up this week as well. A little agony.
They're going to go a long way if they do.
It will, yes.
After that, we have Safari Wild, who, despite being 2-0, are actually in 3rd place. So they're not getting as many points as the others, but they're locking up those wins, and those are going to add up. Next up, Goku number 1. Because of the 4 points, they were at 24 earlier, but they moved up a little bit. Then Bad Tech Cards, 27 points. And finally, F12 Celadon, my own team, at a bit of a slow start, going 0-2. But it's still pretty early, so I'm not too concerned. They can always turn it around. Now, the match. We have a little agony, who we were just discussing, versus Goku number 1. Now, these guys, Goku number 1, they did go through a name change. They were originally USA number 1, so it's a little funny that they changed things up. And we can thank the Norwegian from Oslo, Goku, for that. He is now part of the team. He's shown in red as a sub here, but he's now a permanent member. So they changed their name up. Goku number 1, he is their mascot. Ironically, he's not the captain, but don't be surprised if that changes if they want to keep the name. Unfortunately, though, this was not their week. Taunt's Cheat, our player of the week, took a 3-0 sweep over Burnt. Yerna fell 2-3 to the Rotted Zombie. That was not enough on Rotted's end to turn things around for Goku number 1. Mad Thanos, Slot, and Ian LaBruce all got wins for their team. Mad Thanos getting the 3-2 win over Goku, Slot getting a 3-1 win over Duin, and Ian LaBruce getting a 3-1 win over Shadow Frog. Now, of course, Duin being Duin always brought his traditional Reno decks, so Slot was able to take advantage of that, it seems.
Hmm.
Mad Danos versus Goku, I hear, was incredibly close, and the scores are just the same. And Shadow Frog getting off to a slow start, but I'm sure they'll be able to turn it around at some point very soon.
Hmm.
You guys have any other comments on this?
It's nice to see Rotted
I
at
love
2-0
it.
in EU.
Oh,
What?
Oh,
it's
Something happening?
fine. Everything is fine.
this is
Um,
fine.
yeah, no, I really love Goku #1, and I think Rocket Zombie is a really really good player. I
Hmm.
mean, he won last season on NA,
Hmm.
so I'm not surprised he was the one to take the win from the team, even though the other players couldn't pull through. But yeah, really really interesting thing to have your team change your name because now you have a non-USA player.
Hmm.
So now you're Goku #1, and I hope Goku gets seed 1, like at the end of the thing.
Yeah, you'd love to see it.
Would love to see it. Yeah, for sure.
Rotted, you got to start losing.
Yeah, Rotted has to start
Take one for the team.
I mean, you can be like Corbett and Get Me Out last season, where they both were like I think 08, no, sorry, 8-0, and they were #1 and #2, and they didn't lose.
Hmm.
So you can do that.
Mm.
Here's
Yeah.
hoping.
Hmm.
Anyways, we have one more match in the EU series to cover.
Yes.
Fish, tell me about EU Everyone's winner versus my own team, F2L Celadon.
All right. Well, unfortunately for you, unfortunately for our friend Sunday, EU Veron's a winner took a pretty commanding weak win. The lone win for F2L Celadon coming in the one spot, which is Alb 987 taking a 3-1 over Adrian 123. While Mr. Luke 98 took a sweep over Lorthos. Cubby took a 3-0 over Bedrooms.
QB.
Lasagna. Oh, QB, of course.
QB.
QB. It's QB, of course.
Yes.
I know QB, and I called him Cubby. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Cubby.
Lasagna took a 3-1 over Copa, and Maxadonna took a 3-2 over Mr. F2L Robobson. But I think you and him are kind of close in that Mr. F2L conversation.
Yeah, we have arguments and debates about it all the time. And if he keeps losing like this, he's going to lose his title. So pick up the slack, Rebob.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I think the bands just kind of speak to themselves.
Oh
Everyone
yeah,
brought.
yes. 9 Warlock bands.
Yeah, the
Only-
only time Warlock wasn't banned was when
It
one
wasn't
player
available
didn't
to
bring
ban.
Warlock.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Mhm.
yeah, this
Oh
is
boy.
how the meta feels right now, and it's probably going to feel like this for another minute. But we do have something up on the horizon. Yeah, we should move on to that
Yes.
actually. So let's go back to the main screen real quick, and we have our weekly question. And for tonight, what gets nerfed in Warlock? So we know on Tuesday that nerfs are coming to the game. 2 of them were announced. They're both mana related, and they're both feelings based for the most part. So what do you guys think? Tom?
Okay, so I'm gonna take a really really hot take. Um, and I wanna say because they've said mana wise, maybe just maybe we get the quest at 2 mana. Maybe.
I don't
And that would
think
be
Mm-mm.
no. That's why I say it's a really hot
Mhm.
take because
Okay.
if we get the quest as at 2 mana, you can actually play even luck quest, and we know it's not that they don't care about wild, but and having the quest at 2 mana is just going to destroy the format.
Tom, I think
But
you missed the point of the question.
in standard, you know,
Tom,
and I think they
Tom,
are going to.
The
Tom, I
Hey,
question
it's
think
a
is
you
nerf.
missed
not.
the
The
question.
question is non-demon seed. I'm pretty sure.
No,
Tom.
wait, is it?
Tom, it can't be the demon seed. That was the one that we said it wouldn't be because it's mana related. So it's
Oh, I
got to be
didn't.
something.
No, but yeah, it's mana related. I didn't. Sorry, I didn't read the question. I was looking at the notes and
Yeah, the notes.
anyway.
The
It's
notes don't. The
fine.
notes don't have non-demon seed, but that's
It's
okay.
fine.
It's fine.
Try
Yeah.
again, Tom. We'll give you one more
Sorry.
shot.
I'm new to this.
Oh, good.
No, I think it's going to be probably the weapon because that's why we saw a rise on Cataclysm Warlock this
Oh
week.
yeah, ruined Mythal Rod.
Yeah, that thing is just. I'm surprised they didn't make it the
It's
same way they made the Final Showdown Demon Hunter quest, where you only discount the cards, you draw that turn. It discounts the whole hand, and
Yeah.
that's really, really
it's
interesting. I'm going
yeah.
to save that word.
Mhm.
And the other card is probably obviously going to be Stealer Souls,
Yes.
because that thing is just. I mean,
Thanks for
there
stealing
is
my
a
answer.
reason it's banned in. It's banned in
Wild.
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
What
think
do
it's
you
a fair
think,
take.
Fish?
Yeah.
Fish?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Touch of the Nath. I think one of them's Touch of the Nathrazim or Touch of the Nathrazim for sure. I think that card is kind of ridiculous at 1 mana for what it does. I could see, and I think even for 2 mana, dealing 2, healing 4 would still be fine. It wouldn't be as strong as it is now, and I think if we're looking at it from like a feels bad man perspective, it like it's kind of the card that allows the quest to be so good
Yeah, a lot
in
of the
both
healing.
in standard and wild. It's definitely the thing that keeps you healed because like yeah, you get the 3 damage. Yeah, like you kind of just neutralize for dealing 3, healing 3, but if you do that plus heal an extra 4, it's like how do you beat that?
Yeah, it does make a big difference.
Yeah.
And for the second card,
I think I mean I would guess it's Stealer, just because um of its impact in the D6 deck, which is funny because I don't even think that's necessarily the strong. I don't even think it's necessarily the overall strongest considering all the player base of a deck because it's extremely difficult to navigate. But it's probably Stealer going to like 5 or something like that. But
Yeah.
I hope it's the weapon because the weapon's nuts.
Yeah, and also I hope it's the weapon because I have a golden one.
I do have a golden one, yes.
I see where you
Yes.
guys have your minds
But
now.
I wasn't even thinking about the golden aspect.
Well, I have 2 in mind.
Let's
And
go.
first one, I think I agree with you guys. Steeler is definitely the one that they're going to hit. They're going to hit it from a feels perspective. The deck isn't all that great right now in
Yeah.
standard. It's already banned in wild.
Mhm.
And they're just going to want to make sure that it doesn't feel as bad later on.
Yeah.
Now, the second one, though,
It's
what if it's not a
hard.
card? What
Oh.
if we keep
Oh
things,
no.
yeah, what if we keep things, okay, fixed for the present and for the future? And then we don't have to balance all of these cards around the Warlock class.
Let's go. Give it
What
to me.
if we make life tap cost 3? Now, hear me out.
I'd
No.
be for it.
believe-
At this point, I'd be for it.
I believe this will open a lot of design space. I think this can solve a lot of problems. Warlock won't be too weak or
Mhm.
too strong based on the cards available to it at that moment in standard. And we won't have an issue with printing too much self damage synergy in wild. because they'll have to actually pay to get cards. So
Yeah.
maybe, just maybe, we'll make Life Tap cost 3 and fix this for everyone. All right.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it.
Cool.
So,
no.
so thanks again, guys. Appreciate having you all here.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Tom, do you have any last words?
Yeah, it's been really fun, and yeah, I'm really glad that I was invited to this.
Yeah, glad to have you on. So,
Mhm.
Fish?
Yeah. Also, likewise, I had a fun time on the show. I'm glad I'm glad this show exists. For a couple of reasons, but I don't know. I'm just happy to be on. Hopefully, I'll get to be on occasionally as well. More. Just we in a couple hours or like an hour and 15, we're gonna have 2 matches for Thursday Throwdown, and that'll be announced in the Discord. We have one legacy match, one pro match, and I know this is a wild show, but I will plug the next show.
Yeah, definitely check them out. There's a lot
Yeah.
of fun matches. And if you ever want your wild match on there,
Mhm.
definitely hit them up. I know they're not afraid to host wild matches.
No, we
they're
aren't.
they're also looking for stuff this weekend. I know a lot of us are busy with CN versus West going on.
Mhm.
But if you have a match then, feel free to hit someone up. You can hit up me, Lotus, or Fish, and we'll make sure to get you set up for a time this weekend.
Yeah, I
So,
was down to play my match this weekend, but sadly my opponent, I think, only could today or Friday, so I decided to
Mhm.
play it today, just before
Mhm.
this.
Gotcha.
Sadly, you didn't see my match.
Nah.
either way, definitely hit us up, let us know, and we'll figure something out. And that's it. So, thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.